Farron. I'm a tech entrepreneur, and welcome to another episode of Tech RoundUp Talk. On this show, we go into practical discussion with a subject matter expert, and we explore all matters technology. We do this by discussing our guests' professional background and their rise to the top, and discuss topical issues in their vertical. On Tech RoundUp today, we have the privilege of welcoming Alessia Balducci. I hope I got it right.
Yeah.
Who is the country manager of Seedstars Nigeria. Seedstars is a Swiss-based private group of companies with a mission to impact people's lives in emerging markets through technology and entrepreneurship. The group's activities cover over 80 emerging ecosystems through a variety of events such as Seedstars World Competition, acceleration programs, physical hub called Seedspace, venture capital investments, and company building activities. Welcome, Alessia.
Thank you. Thank you so
Good
much.
to have you here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we always like to, and I'm sure the audience are eager to learn more about your background. You know, what have you done in your career up to this point? You're an Italian, you're running tech in Lagos. That's not common, not too common.
Yeah.
So, tell us more. Let's know more about you and the fantastic things that you've done
Sure.
in your background.
Sure. So what I say all the time when I'm in Nigeria running any event, my name is Alessia, no X.
No,
So I let the audience repeat the name all together.
Okay.
So I ensure the pronunciation is right.
Right.
But yeah, I've been in Lagos for more than 2 years. Was supposed to be here for a few months.
Okay.
And then Lagos is like that.
Mm.
It sucks you in.
It sucks you in and you become part of it.
Exactly. It was so interesting. The work was amazing, and we just felt like there was so much more to do. I felt like there was so much more to do, and so I'm still here.
Okay.
I joined. So as you mentioned, the company's Swiss-based. It was born in Switzerland, but then it's focused on emerging markets. So we operated so many emerging markets, and I joined the company for that reason. I thought it was so interesting that they were working in these new markets that were fast growing,
Yeah.
and no one was talking about it.
Yeah.
And I met the company while I was working in Switzerland. I was already in the business development area, in that space, selling a lot of things, even though I was in the NGO sector at that time. But when I heard what Seedstars was doing, and I joined their global event that they have once a year in Switzerland in Geneva, it was just mind-blowing. So I joined the company, and the position came up for Nigeria, and I was curious.
How did you make that decision? It's always.
I just moved here without ever having been in Nigeria.
Oh wow.
I thought, okay, I've been to India for a couple of weeks.
So when I was preparing for this, I saw Seedstars, I saw Seedspace, I saw a growth lab, and I'm kind of trying to figure out how did these all piece together, because as part of the mission that you guys are driving around emerging markets. Could you tell us more about that?
Glad you asked. As you mentioned, I run all operations of Seedstars in Nigeria. The hubs and Seedspace as a hub is a venture of Seedstars. So the hubs are the heart of all the operations, but they're just within a range of things that we do to support entrepreneurs. So we need to be often the link between entrepreneurs and opportunities for growth, for investment, for collaboration with different institutions. So we need to be close to the ecosystems. And the hubs are just a way to be physically present. So as you mentioned, we have operations in 80 countries, but we also have 16 hubs, and those just help us be grounded in the ecosystems. The hub in Lagos, as I mentioned to you earlier, it was the first one we ever built in emerging markets. That to say how interested we were in the ecosystem. Now we just launched a second one. Again, it was because we see such a need to be present and to be even more involved in the ecosystem. And we met Growth Lab as Seedstars. And Growth Lab was also which was previously the startup. You might know them. They're focused more on e-learning and supporting the growth of entrepreneurs and executives. It's a great local partner. And once we met, we understood there was magic that could happen because we were both looking to build a new hub that would be much more than a space, but a hub where you could go and build your career, build your personal goals, and so we thought it was a perfect match.
Okay.
So Seedspace Growth Lab, which is the hub we launched last week, is the baby of Seedstars and Growth Lab together.
Okay. So yes, I see how those are sort of connected and they're providing services at different stages for startups. Like you mentioned, the Nigerian tech space is interesting. You had mentioned that this was really the first place where you built, you know, the space, right? And you know, fast forward from a few years ago, the entrepreneurial spirit in Nigeria is on another level, right? You see and hear all sorts of interesting ideas by really young people trying to make a difference and trying to, you know, solve different problems that are here. And I'm just wondering, you guys being really in the center of that, receiving applications, receiving calls from, you know, these young founders and entrepreneurs, you must have a selection process. You must have a way you engage entrepreneurs in Nigeria. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, so that, you know, someone watching out there who is trying to, you know, work with you guys would know what to think about and what to prepare for it. Yeah.
So as I said, I think sometimes people get confused because of the fact we do so many things. But the reality is that all the different formats of events and programs we run all have one purpose, which is to engage with the most interesting and innovative ideas, with the most passionate entrepreneurs. So really, whether it is a boot camp or a hackathon or an acceleration program, the purpose is always the same. So we're trying to build this very strong pipeline of startups that we work with and we invest in. Whether we invest in them or not, we are always willing to, and we try very hard to connect these entrepreneurs to opportunities, resources, network, and also other investment opportunities. As a matter of fact, we've been running a new acceleration program that is called the Investment Readiness Program, and the sole purpose of that is to prepare startups for investment.
So with all the channels that you've opened up and all the various activities and engagements that you've had in Nigeria, how many startups do you think Seedstars have engaged over the years of running operations in Lagos?
Yeah, so I've had to think about it a little bit when we talked about it earlier. Because if you think about the fact that the competition, the Seedstars World competition that we ran last Friday for the launch of Seedspace Growth Lab, that was the 7th edition in Nigeria. So you can count already 10 startups for each year that has been going through that process. Every year that competition runs, we have hundreds of applications coming in. And that's just for the Seedstars competition. In terms of acceleration, I believe about 15 startups already went through the investment readiness program this year with the local team in Nigeria. We also have all the events, programs, boot camps, meetups that we've been running in our hub for years. So it's hard to quantify. And in addition to that, we've also built 5 companies in Nigeria, and 2 of which are QuickCheck and Lendigo. They are actually working out of our new Lekki office right now as we speak. So it's quite a bit. We also have quite some investments, and really, as I said, all these activities are all pipeline for us to invest or connect for other investment opportunities. So really, it's a lot.
Yeah. So we ran a report on one of the Tech Roundup episodes a few months ago, and it was around how incubators are growing in Africa, rapidly growing. In fact, I will read part of that. There's a recent GSMA report that listed the number of tech hubs in Africa in 2019 as 618. This was about 3 months ago when we ran this, which is a 40% increase from 2018. This increase is driven by investment rounds. We've had a lot of them this year already. Development finance and grants coming into the space. Nigeria, South Africa, and Kenya are major hubs, but with Lagos as the top innovation center with over 40 hubs around the city. Two questions here. Why is Lagos buzzing? And then two, how is Seedstars differentiating from all the other competing offerings that are out there today?
The truth is, I believe for foreign investors, Nigeria is just such an interesting market, of course, because of the size, but also for the fact that the ecosystem is so developed. I think part of it is cultural. I think traveling around Nigeria, discussing with my teammates, we discover that, I don't think the story about resilience about the Nigerian people is just
it's not exaggerated.
No, it's not exaggerated.
Yeah.
I just see, even with the investment readiness program, I mentioned we run that globally. We started running it from all the 15 hubs at the same time, and Lagos had the most number of applications by far, almost double than the next hub. The reason for that is that simply, even though a startup might not be sure if they're a great fit, they might not be sure if they can actually.
They still put forward the application,
yes.
regardless.
Yeah. Yes. So there is which is, of course, it's also occurs sometimes, but at least we know that people are out there trying and
passionate about it, and they're doing everything they can.
So I think culturally there is this, and I think young Nigerians are very lucky because of the fact that they hear about entrepreneurship so much. On the other side, of course, a lot of people are pushed to entrepreneurship because a lot of time there is no other choice.
Yeah.
So we need to be aware of the fact that, again, it's a blessing and a curse. There's a good and a bad side, but the reality of things is that you'll see the Nigerian entrepreneurs really doing their best.
Yep.
And I think that's why you mentioned South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya. That's why Nigeria is one of those countries getting the most investments in Africa overall.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's on that. So on our side, as I said, we're still here.
Yeah.
In year 7, we're still here.
Yeah.
So regarding what we do differently, I think it is clear by now that really what we do is all about capacity building. So I'm sure a lot of the hubs operating in Africa and in Nigeria, we're all trying to support entrepreneurs in different ways. Doing co-working and offering space is not enough anymore, even though it is a great solution, it is much needed. I believe what we want to do is also connect these entrepreneurs with as many opportunities as possible. We do that.
And when you say opportunities, apart from investments, what else do you classify as opportunities?
So the acceleration is an opportunity. The network of partners that we have in Nigeria, but also in 20 other sub-Saharan African countries. So let's say one of our startups in our accelerator, they're looking to expand to the next country. We already have a team in place that
can help them make that happen. Yeah.
Exactly. We also have a set of partners that provide credits for different solutions, and these are tech solutions that we use ourselves, that we don't just promote, so that it goes from accounting solutions to sales tools and all of that. So we try to provide, as I said, resources, but really the best that we can provide, I think, is the access to network, because I believe it's such a strong point that people tend to forget, and also the mentorship that is much needed, just in terms of having a second perspective that comes from someone that is involved
in through the process. Yeah,
exactly. Because as I said, we need to speak to them as investors and tell them what investors need to hear. Because a lot of times we're only pitching businesses. We forget to pitch the investment opportunity itself.
Because
there's a lot of things.
No, because a lot of founders, like I said earlier, they're young, they're smart, passionate, but sometimes lack the experience to adequately position the solution as a business that becomes attractive to investors. So I guess you guys bridge a lot of those gaps and make them ready for that. So we're lucky to have a guest like you on the show, because a lot of the viewers are budding entrepreneurs or looking to to change the course of their career, to develop a solution and build a platform and build a business. From your vantage point of being in a position where you get startups for investments, you work with a lot of them, you see what's needed. You were just talking about building teams and things like that. What are the three top advice or three top tips you would give to viewers who are in that position to be mindful of when they are starting off their entrepreneurial journey?
All right, so there is one thing you'll hear me say over and over in our workshops, which is do your homework. So I think that to me is about doing your homework, looking at the numbers, doing the research, trying to actually understand if this is solving a problem, looking at the market, all of these
Validation.
boring research that is needed. So once you have done your homework, you can build credibility. So I can establish that this is an actual problem, this is a solution, a viable solution. You might have just an idea, you might have an MVP. Either way, you have to have done your homework. Then once that is done, build your credibility. Then I think I would get back to building the team. So you build your team, you start with yourself, and again, it's about very much self-awareness of you as a leader and of understanding that the team, and this is something we stress a lot, when a lot of startups are pitching their ideas, they tend to skip the team slide or
very quickly,
or just skip through. Truth is, we need to see a team that is diverse. So if you are running a business that is centered around sports, then I need to see a business person, maybe a techie person, and a sports person. Otherwise, I need to know that your team has all the knowledge in the field you operate in. And that goes, I was talking once to a startup doing art sales of really interesting and expensive art. They did not have someone that is an expert in that field, but they had a mentor, they had an advisor that was an expert in the field. That gives instant credibility. So again, you see these 2 points, both about credibility. And the third thing is, I think, about building your network. And that is also about being a pleasant person. That is about building relationships, because again, at the end of the day, if you're not a pleasant person to work with, it makes all the work much harder
to do.
So know how to relate with people, but also I think coming with to the point of the network, I know it's a rough reality, but you need to build your network within the investment community, within the innovation community. I think innovation hubs in general are a great way to start.
Just to start with those.
If you get into an accelerator, when your next investor is going to be asking around, who is the startup, you have the validation that you've been through an accelerator. They also can introduce you to your next big supporter. Don't forget all the people that surround you, all the people you're going to be talking to. They might have, the solution to your problems, but you just need to ask. So I think in two ways, the networking part is key.
It's very key.
Is key. And if I may add, the reason why this hub in Lekki was born was simply because I went around telling people, I want to open a hub. I'm looking for a partner. And one day I was introduced to Dotun, who was running Growth Lab, and they said, hey, we're just about to open a new hub. Let's do it together. And now we are able to offer an additional opportunity to our community. Now we have the whole learning platform online with them. So it's just value creation, I think, at the end of the day.
All right. So here you have it, guys. That was nugget of information and good advice. If you're thinking about venturing into this space, you need to do your homework. So there's need for you to know that the solution you're building is actually solving problems. There's a need for you to build a team. It seems like everything is about your team in this case, and your team has to be diverse, and the team has to have credibility. And lastly, we all need a network. We need support, however you think about it, and your network is your support. So you need to build it as well. We'd like to hear your comments and feedback. So please, as usual, connect with me on LinkedIn at Wole Faron, and subscribe to the Tech Roundup YouTube channel if you haven't done so. Until we bring another special guest next time, guys, have a pleasant one, and we'll see you next time. Alessia, thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate chatting with you.